Alright, so nobody had a video on how to take a top off of a TT, so I decided to take one real quick just to, in case somebody was thinking on how to do this. This is a TTS. It's got the V6 3.2. First thing that I did to get the top off, come up here where all this is and just start on the front. There's the big plastic part, took it off. Then once you take that plastic part off, it's all these screws along the way, then you'll have to take off this lever. The lever is actually pretty easy to take off. It's a pin, and you push the pin through and then the whole lever comes off. After you get that, then the whole plastic part comes down and exposes all the other screws that hold on the front of the top. There's a couple of little ones that you may not find, like right here in the corner, and then all the other big ones, they're easy. Once you get the front off, I just worked front to back because it seemed easiest. Then along these sides right here, you'll take off the trim molding, that's the weather stripping, and there's Torx right here, right here, right here. If you take that off, it exposes this back ledge right here, and these are rivets. So since I've got my top off, you can see it better on this way, but there's a rivet, I think there's 4, yeah, that goes down. Drill them out, and then that allows the top to come free here. And once you do that, then you can fold your top back. Even if you've got the power top, mine still folds. You can just manually move it. Slide it forward, the whole top comes off on the front, and then you can peel it back all the way right here. Then the tricky part comes in. And by the way, you'll do this on both sides. 4 rivets on that side too, whatever. The tricky part is when you get into the back, and this is the stuff that had me the most concerned when I decided to do it myself, but it's not that bad. So along this rear bar, there's a ton of screws that hold the top in, and it has contact adhesive, so once you take the screws off, you'll still have to pull it off. It'll be on there pretty good. But the most important thing that I noticed on this is you have your little stops, these, and they will keep this bar from coming up to where you can't access it. So what I did was, after I got the front off, I knew my top was shot, so I just cut it off to where there's just this small amount right here. Made it way easier to access. And if you come down here on this whole mechanism, it looks kind of crazy, but it's not that bad. Follow the main bar all the way down, and there are 2 bolts. They're Torx, and they just go right in there, and that's what this whole arm is held on by. If you disconnect that Torx, then it gives you the ability to move it down, and then you can pull this bar up to access it to drill out the rivets. If you don't disconnect those, you can't access those without taking off the whole top, or at least that's the way it seemed for my case. Once I took off both sides of those Torx, then it allowed me to get them up on both sides. And just a little tip, I put a hammer underneath it to hold the bar up while I was drilling. They're big rivets though, and you got to drill them out, and then that's what will release the tab stops to get the remainder of the rear portion of the top off. And then, like I said, over here, same thing, 2 Torx, and that's about it. The only thing you may want to know, just as a side point, I started messing with all of this rear trim. I thought that this rear trim piece, this big gray kind of black one, I thought that it had to come out. It doesn't have to come out. There's 2 big bracket things right here. I think they hold in the little black cover on the back. I can't remember the name of it. And they didn't have to come off either, so don't take those off, because I wasted some time. And all in all, it's not that bad. Just remember all the little things, like you do have to disconnect this cable to pull it out from the inside of the top, because that's run through the canvas. And you know, just take your time, watch all your screws. There's a lot of screws. So, but anyways, I hope someone finds this useful, because I've found a lot of videos on YouTube useful on working on stuff. Save some money, do it yourself. Have a good one.